What's up, everybody? My name is Tommy Griffith. I'm one of the co-founders of ClickMinded. Today, we're going to be talking about how to massively increase your website conversion rate fast. This is an exact step-by-step tutorial on how I do conversion rate optimization in 5 minutes or less. Conversion rate optimization, or CRO, is one of the most important and one of the most underutilized aspects of digital marketing. For whatever reason, people seem to always skip this step, and it is vitally important. The other aspect of it that a lot of people don't realize is it kind of never ends. Ideally, you should be doing CRO all the time. There's always a variant you can be testing. There's always a way to improve. Now, for me, one of the hardest parts of CRO has always been coming up with tests. And when I say that, what I really mean is my default thinking, my default behavior in CRO is I come up with mediocre tests. I'm very bad about thinking through this on my own, and I always end up optimizing for stuff that doesn't really matter. I used to always focus on things like button color, right? Or very minuscule minutia things like the copy at the bottom of the page, or the GIF that we use on the thank you page, or things that sort of mattered to me a lot but didn't move the needle at all in my metrics. So now we're gonna walk through all the things that you can do from a CRO perspective that have very, very high impact and can be implemented right away. So it turns out I've solved this problem. I've solved this problem of having unbelievably mediocre conversion rate optimization ideas, and the way I've solved it is by using AI. Turns out large language models are enormously better than me at trying to decide what conversion rate optimization projects to take on, which ones are actually going to move the needle, and then rank ordering them based on priority, impact, and the speed of getting them done. So I want to show you exactly how I use artificial intelligence to implement conversion rate optimization in a way that is metric driven and not based on feels. So for our demo site today, to show you how I like to do conversion rate optimization and implement things fast, we're going to be using the site retroaddicts.com. RetroAddicts is our demo site that we use for tutorials. This is a vintage video game website. So imagine I'm a digital marketing consultant. RetroAddicts has come to me. They sell vintage video games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64. And they've come to me and they said, hey, we're having a conversion rate optimization problem. Where should we start? How should we get going? So we're going to dive into this now. So the way we're going to get this done today is by using the ClickMinded Project Agent along with a couple of SOPs on A/B split testing. So the way I do this now is I'm going to log into the ClickMinded members area. I'm in here now, and on the left-hand side, you'll go to the Create section, and you'll see all the AI tools we have there. That's listed right here. You'll see all these. And I'm going to go over to create a new project to start a new project for this client. Now, the ClickMinded Project Agent is essentially the brain of all the backend features of the ClickMinded members area. What it's going to do is ask for a bunch of information about your website or your client's website. It's going to sort of centralize that, and then we can use it to use the different ClickMinded tools on the backend. There's two different modes when you're getting started. There's quick mode and there's manual mode. Quick mode simply asks for a URL. All you have to do is drop the client's URL and hit Analyze Website, or you can manually enter all the data yourself. Domain, brand name, type of business, describe the product, key features, pricing, target audience, social proof, country, and language. I'm going to skip this for now and just have the quick mode do all the work for me. So the site is retroaddicts.com. I just type in the URL and click Analyze Website. And there it goes. That only took a couple of seconds, and all of this data has been pre-filled. So retroaddicts.com is the domain. The brand name is RetroAddicts. We're going to make some small changes here. E-commerce business. This is a vintage video game e-commerce business. And I'll click Next. Authentic retro Nintendo consoles and video games. I'm going to add Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sony PlayStation, N64, and Sega. Key features: authentic retro consoles and games, quality control, free shipping on orders, pricing model. Let's say most games are $50 or less. Audience information: 90s kids and vintage video games enthusiasts in the US. I'm also going to add a second one, maybe eBay resellers. And maybe we'll add one more, vintage or maybe antique collectors and vintage enthusiasts. So as you see, we pre-populated the data based on what we found by scraping your URL, but you can make some modifications as well. We'll just add a quote here, best website ever from Johnny Appleseed. Country and language is US and English, and I'll click Create Brand Project. Now, in the old days, prior to AI, the way I would typically start a CRO project is I would manually visit the website and I would start writing things down in a text document. I would go through here and say, okay, maybe we need to round the corners on the images here. Maybe we need different images. There's not really enough text. This is difficult for search engines to understand what's going on. Maybe we should add a couple paragraphs of text to the homepage. There's no persistent call to action at the top. Maybe we could do that. Where's the email opt-in? Maybe we need to change the button green. What would green be more eye-catching? And I would sort of manually go through and try to rank order these the best I could. Now, with the ClickMinded Project Agent, we are in an entirely different universe when it comes to conversion rate optimization. So I've gone through the flow of giving the ClickMinded Project Agent all of my client data. Now it knows everything, and now I can simply talk to it like a regular person. So I'm still in the back end of the ClickMinded members area. I'm in the Project Agent area, and all I can do is something like this. I can come in and say, hey, visit our homepage and act as a CRO expert. Suggest 3 stronger hero section headlines and subheaders that would boost conversions for our main persona. And there we go. So that only took a few seconds, and we now have 3 pretty awesome hero headlines and subheaders. These are all for Nostalgic Nate, the 35-year-old that wants working, authentic vintage consoles at fair prices. And let's take a look at them. The first one is the nostalgia-led one. The headline is Play the Games That Made Your Childhood. The subheader is Authentic NES, SNES, Genesis, N64 consoles and cartridges. And the call to action is Shop 90s Favorites. The second option is a Trust First headline. The headline goes Authentic Retro Consoles, Fully Restored and Guaranteed. Subheader is Every System is Authenticated and Repaired by Our Techs. This is really good. And then option 3 is Value Plus Collection, so like a price-motivated headline. And that headline is Build Your 90s Collection, Most Games Under $50. Subheader is High-Quality Vintage Games Sourced Nationwide, Graded and Guaranteed. So this is really, really good, especially if we take a look at what we have currently in comparison. It was able to give us recommendations that are just so much better than what we have right now. So giving all the context to the project agent and letting it cook is extremely helpful and quite useful. So out of all these options, I like option 1. So I'm going to reply with something like use option 1, draft supporting hero copies, call to action button, and value proposition bullet points. Let's send that in. And there we go. Only took a couple of seconds, and the ClickMinded Project Agent recommendations are here. The H1, play the games that made your childhood. The H2, tweaked for flow, authentic NES, SNES, Genesis, and N64. The primary call to action, the secondary call to action, value proposition bullet points, and the one-line rationale, authenticated consoles. Professionally restored and fully tested by our techs. Most games and cartridges under $50. Risk-free guarantee and free US shipping on every order. This is absolutely fantastic. So you can see here, with all the context inside the project agent, we can do some incredible work in generating new headlines and subheadlines. And now we can go and split test them with an A/B test using one of our SOPs. So I just click execute on the left-hand side to get to all of the SOPs, prompts, and templates that ClickMinded offers. And this is where all of that lives. You'll see our enormous library of prompts, SOPs, and templates. I can filter by a ton of different categories, platforms, use cases, or resource types. But I know what I want, so I can come to the search bar and just type in split test. Bunch of different options for me here. This one looks great. SOP number 60, how to structure, run, and analyze an A/B test on your website. So now I'm on SOP number 60, how to run a split test. For anyone unfamiliar with ClickMinded SOPs, this is how they work. At the top, we have all the ability to export as PDF, Google Docs, or .docx files. We also have integrations with major project management platforms. So if you're on Asana, Notion, ClickUp, Monday, or Trello, you can one-click integrate with any of those. Every SOP starts with a goal, ideal outcome, why it's important, where it's done, when it's done, and who does it, along with any prerequisites. Any resources you need are linked to in the document. You can go in and as you complete things, check them off, and the little progress meter will move along. And this is exactly the tool I'll use to run my split test. So in this particular case, we're going to recommend VWO. This is a free recommended split testing tool. All I need to do is follow this tutorial step by step, take the ClickMinded Project Agent recommendations, rinse, wash, and repeat. This is how I have outsourced my critical thinking to AI. I no longer try to prioritize CRO projects with my own biases. I let the ClickMinded Project Agent do all the thinking for me. So that's it. That's a high-level overview of how to massively increase your conversion rate fast. That's the tutorial on how I do CRO in 5 minutes or less. Now I have a challenge for you. If you have a project that's been on the back burner, or maybe you implemented something recently where you saw conversion rate drop, use this process. Add your business details to the ClickMinded Project Agent, and then use a split testing SOP to implement the changes. Or if you have a prospective or current client who hasn't done any CRO yet, maybe use this process for them. If you're running a digital marketing agency or consultancy and you're not already offering CRO as a service, this would be a great time to offer this as an upsell or additional value add to your customers and increase your prices. There's links down below to try everything right now. Thanks a lot.